Maybe, just maybe, you are sitting in your living room tonight as the shadows lengthen across the floor in Florida, California, or a quiet corner of London. You find yourself staring at that one empty chair across the room. The chair that, only a few months ago, or perhaps many years ago, was filled with a familiar presence. Someone who drank tea with you, shared the news, or simply breathed the same air as you in the quiet of the evening. Or maybe you recently found a small scrap of paper in an old coat pocket, a hurried handwritten note, a grocery list, or a birthday wish. And in that split second, the world around you seemed to stop spinning. Your chest tightened, and you realized you had forgotten how to breathe for a moment. At this stage of our lives, we have walked through enough seasons to understand a painful truth. Loss is not a visitor who drops by for a weekend and then leaves. No, it is a permanent change in the weather of your soul. The outside world continues its frantic pace. People rush to work. Children laugh in the parks. But your world has shifted its axis forever. Friends and family often say, "Be strong. Time heals all wounds." Or, "You must move on." But it seems no one tells you what to do with the vast, silent, and sometimes terrifying space that person left behind. If you know that feeling the weight of a shadow that no longer has a physical form, then this conversation is for you. Welcome to the ancient path. Today, we are not here to discuss distant theories. We are going to explore why loss hurts to the very marrow of our bones, and how the Buddha's wisdom can help you carry what feels uncarryable. There is something modern society, a society that is often rushed and afraid of sadness, rarely allows us to admit. Grief is not a problem to be solved. Grief is not a puzzle to be figured out, nor is it a disease that needs to be cured. If you feel a lump in your throat every morning when you wake up, or a cold emptiness in your chest as the sun begins to set, please understand, this is not a sign of weakness. It is not because you are not mindful enough or resilient enough. In truth, grief is simply the final form of love. It is love with nowhere to go. When the person you spent a lifetime caring for, worrying about, and cherishing is no longer there to receive that energy, that immense tidal wave of love turns inward. It presses against your heart, becoming a piercing ache. In the Buddhist lens, your pain is a sacred testament to the human capacity for compassion. You hurt because you loved deeply. You hurt because you lived with an open heart. Therefore, you never need to feel guilty for still crying after a year, 5 years, or even a decade. We are not here today to fix your heart, because a broken heart is often a heart that is broken wide open. We are here to learn how to stay with that pain with the greatest possible tenderness. The Buddha spoke of a core concept that many of us have heard before, Anicca, or impermanence. It may sound like a dry philosophy from an old book, but in reality, it is the most intimate truth of our lives, touching our skin every single day. Think of a sunset over the western horizon. We watch the last rays of light fade into the ocean. We do not scream at the sun. We do not feel betrayed by the dusk. Why? Because we understand it is the nature of the sun to set so that the stars may appear. But when it comes to the people we love, The human heart desperately wishes for the sun to stay at noon forever. Why does loss hurt so deeply? According to ancient wisdom, there are 3 layers of resistance that intensify our suffering. The first layer, the illusion of ownership. We often say, my husband, my wife, my child. But the truth is, in this universe, we do not truly own anything. We are merely allowed to borrow our loved ones from the universe for a finite time. Like a guest visiting our home, whether the visit lasts 50 years or 70 years. Eventually, the guest must depart. Pain arises when we forget that we were holding a loaned gift. The second layer, attachment. We don't just love the person. We build our entire identity around their presence. I am his wife. I am her father. When they leave, a part of our definition of self vanishes. We feel as though we have lost a limb or our sight, and we do not know who we are in this new world. The third layer, resistance to reality. We spend so much energy wishing things were different. If only I had said this. If only I had been there. This resistance, this no to the reality of the present moment, is the fire that burns the soul. The takeaway I want you to hold in your heart right now is this. The pain does not come from the fact that they are gone. It comes from our heart's brave, desperate attempt to hold on to a form that has already changed according to the laws of nature. To understand this more deeply, I want to tell you a story from 2,600 years ago. The story of a woman named Kisa Gotami. It is a story in which anyone experiencing loss will find their own reflection. Kisa Gotami had an only son. The boy had just begun to walk, just begun to call her mother, when he suddenly passed away. Kisa could not accept this cruel reality. She took the child's body in her arms and wandered through the streets, knocking on every door, begging for the impossible. Please, give me medicine to bring my son back. People looked at her with pity and fear. They whispered, she has lost her mind. The boy is dead. But she heard nothing. Love and grief had made her blind to death. Finally, someone directed her to the Buddha. Standing before him, she collapsed in tears. "O blessed one, do you have a medicine that can make my son live again?" The Buddha looked at her with infinite compassion, a gaze without judgment. He said, "Yes, I can help you. But first, you must bring me a handful of mustard seeds. However, they must come from a house where no one has ever died. No parent, no spouse, no child has ever passed away." Kisa Gotami was filled with hope. She ran to the first house in the village. "Do you have mustard seeds? Please give me a handful to save my son." The owner said, "Of course, take them." But when Kisa asked the next question, "Has anyone died in this house?" the owner's face fell. "Oh, sister, the living are few, but the dead are many. Last year, I lost my father." She went to the second house, the third, the 100th. Whether in an ancient village or a modern city, the answer was always the same. "I just lost my wife. My grandson is gone. My partner left me last winter." As the sun set on the dusty road, Kisa Gotami sat down. She watched the lights of the city flicker on and then die out. Flicker and die out. In that moment, she woke up. She realized that death was not a personal injustice aimed only at her. It was a universal law. Her pain was part of a great ocean of sorrow that all humanity shares. She buried her son and returned to the Buddha. This time, she didn't ask for medicine. She asked for peace, because she realized she was no longer alone in her grief. And you, my friend listening to these words, do you see yourself in Kisa Gotami tonight? Are you knocking on the doors of old memories? Knocking on old photos, old videos, hoping to find a medicine to bring back the past? Buddhism does not tell us to suppress our feelings. No, it simply teaches us to see the bigger picture. When you withdraw into your private pain, the world becomes very narrow and dark. But when you open your heart to see that every house in this world, whether rich or poor, has a mustard seed they cannot find, your pain suddenly becomes wider. It is not that the pain hurts less. It is that your heart has become large enough to hold it. Loss is the universal language of mankind. When you cry, you are crying with billions of others. When you yearn, you are connecting with the eternal energy of love in the universe. Every breath you take right now, remember, you are not alone. You are part of a great healing circle. In the deepest silence of the night, when the ticking of the clock seems louder than usual, grief will often come to you and whisper painful questions. Why me? What do I do with the rest of my life? Will I ever be at peace again? I want you to take a deep breath and allow yourself to hear different answers from ancient wisdom. I want to give you a permission that the world may have never given you. You are allowed to not be okay. You are allowed to sit in the dark and cry. You are allowed to feel exhausted. But in that silence, try to listen to what grief is actually trying to say. Grief has 3 important messages for you. Message 1. Your love was real. Without a love as deep as the ocean, you would never feel a pain this great. Every tear that falls is an affirmation. I have loved, and I have been loved. Cherish that pain as a sacred souvenir of love. Message 2. Everything is a temporary gift. Grief reminds us of the value of the present. Because life is fragile, every moment we are still here. Every cup of tea, every neighbor's smile, every morning sun becomes infinitely more precious. Grief teaches us how to live more deeply. Message 3. They never truly disappeared. In the Buddhist view, nothing is ever born and nothing ever dies. The one you love is simply transforming into another form. They live in your cells, in the way you smile, in the values they pass to you. Like a cloud that never dies. It only becomes rain, then a stream, then nourishes the trees. Remember this. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open so that light can enter. Before we conclude, I want to offer you a small practice. A gift you can carry in your pocket and use whenever the waves of grief feel too overwhelming. This is the metta loving kindness practice for the grieving heart. Sit comfortably. If you can, place one hand over your heart. Feel the warmth of your palm through your clothes, touching your skin, touching your tired heart. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. Imagine you are cradling the hurting child inside you, the part of you that feels lost. Now, repeat these words in your mind, slowly, gently. May I be at peace with this pain. May my heart be soothed by understanding. May I have the strength to walk through the storm without resentment. Now, visualize the one you lost. See their face at its most beautiful, most joyful. Smile at them, a smile of gratitude, and whisper, "Thank you for walking this part of the road with me. I will continue to live well, so that your light continues to shine through me." Take a deep breath and let out all the tension. That is all. You don't need to do anything else. This gentle presence is a miracle of healing in itself. We began today with the image of an empty chair and a silent room. But I hope, as this video ends, that silence no longer feels like fear or loneliness to you. That silence has now become a space of reverence, a space to connect with yourself and those who have gone before. Loss is not the end of a book. It is a transition from one chapter to another. There, the person you love no longer lives in the limited physical world. They live in every breath, in every kind thought you have. Be gentle with yourself in the coming days. Do not force yourself to be strong in the way the world expects. Be vulnerable, but be mindful. You are doing so well, simply by being here, by listening, and by seeking peace. If these words brought even a small amount of warmth to your soul, I would be honored to hear your story. Please share a beautiful memory of your loved one in the comments, or simply say, "Thank you." Sometimes, the act of writing is the act of letting go of the final burden. In our next video, we will discuss another vital topic for this stage of life: finding purpose in solitude, turning loneliness into solitude. I believe it is the next step you need to complete your healing process. You can also find a playlist on Wisdom for the Golden Years on the right side of the screen for more spiritual support. I wish you a peaceful night, a dreamless sleep, and a heart full of light. I will see you again on the ancient path.